Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Scary Stories by the Campfire. We are your counselors this evening, Jason.
Jeremy?
A little late on the draw there, Jeremy, because tonight we are taking on an army of darkness, which is mostly just comprised of skeletons. That's, well, I mean, I guess there were deadites. Well, the movie we're talking about this evening is Army of Darkness, which we've already established. So, yay. Wait, Jeremy, you're sitting in the dark over there. You're always sitting in the dark.
Well, we always talk about Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness, which is by far the most lighthearted Evil Dead movie
And
so
honestly, I
far.
wasn't even that big of a fan of it.
You weren't a fan of this one?
Not now that I'm rewatching it, like it wasn't memorable to me in any way. I'm
I
having
mean,
a hard time remembering it. And we
it
literally
was
just watched it the day before yesterday.
it was a pretty quick movie. I don't know what the runtime on it is, but it's a fast paced movie. It kind of goes really quick, and yeah, I'm gonna say out of like the three movies we've seen so far, it's probably the weaker one. I've always established that the first movie is like pure horror to a certain extent. It's got a campy feel, which makes it kind of funny, but I think it's not entirely supposed to be. Uh, Evil Dead 2, I think, is the perfect blend of horror and comedy, and this one's just pure comedy with like horror elements. And I like the movie. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's a bad movie. I like the movie. I think the problem with it is that it just some of it can be over the top, like over the top funny.
And I think I got a lot of that, in my
And
opinion. I think I got too much of that, in my opinion. It was just,
and
it was just hard to sit through.
and
Again,
to an extent, it's um. I always leave the caps lock on. To a certain extent, it's this is where you kind of really get to see Ash kind of, almost hit like a peak in his performance.
yeah,
Or
I
actually, technically, Jeremy, technically, this isn't Ash. This is Bruce Campbell because according to the credits when it rolled, it said Bruce Campbell versus Army of Darkness. So this is just Bruce. This is just Bruce Campbell.
and
Um,
I get like I said, the Bruce Campbell part of it was good, and the movie's not bad. It's just I just don't remember much.
what, are you sleeping?
No, I
Don't
mean
you don't you remember the elaborate fight scenes and the giant castles and
no, because there wasn't any.
there was a castle.
You're barely in it.
There was a castle.
I remember there being three books.
Mm,
One of them bit him.
that is that is that is the big thing is that there are three books. Um, let's run through it, and I guess I'm gonna have to do the legwork on this, considering that Jeremy can't quite remember what had happened.
I mean, I
But
remember it. I remember what happened. It's just
at the end of the second movie,
nothing stuck out to me.
he goes through a time warp, and he falls in the Middle Ages, and he lands there amongst a bunch of knights, and a giant flying deadite shows up, and he shoots it, and everyone's all like, "Yeah, yeah, we love this guy." Except none of that happened. That was the ending to the second movie. None of that happened. This movie starts off with him like going through the time warp, falling down, and then being promptly captured by Arthur's men. And yes, we are talking about, I'm assuming, the King Arthur. So
Yeah.
is that what we're going with?
Yeah, he was played by Marcus Gilbert.
So you have King Arthur, and he's fighting Henry the Red. I believe is what the other guy's name is, Henry
Yep.
the Red, and they think Ash is a member of Henry the Red's men. So they capture him too, take him away. Do 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 do. They take him to the castle. They're gonna throw him in the pit. Throw him in the pit. The pit. I mean, a lot of this reminded me of kind of like a Monty Python skit. Throw him in the pit. We want him in the pit. So they throw one guy in the pit, and you get about the bloodiest thing in the entire movie.
Yes.
Just that big spray, psh, Nightmare on Elm Street style, psh,
I
blood all over the place, and that's it. That's the blood. And that's primarily the blood in the entire movie. So they throw Ash down there. Actually, Ash kind of falls in there. They that lady Sheila hit him in the head with a rock. He kind of wobbled up, and they kind of pushed him in there.
yeah.
And of course, they got some sort of deadites in there, and he ends up killing the deadites and escaping. And everyone's impressed. Oh my god, he did something that no one else did.
He beat the
Ooh,
Deadite.
he beat the deadites. So the wise, crazy old man was like, I'm they what he's credited as wise man, I think, right?
Yeah.
I just want to think that's Merlin. Why can't they just call him Merlin? You got Arthur. You're using King Arthur, and she's used Merlin.
Nah.
But he says that Ash is this man from the future, I guess. He's gonna come and save them and destroy the Deadite. He's the only guy who can go get the book, and they lead him out on this path, and they say, "Go get the book." And then the craziness ensues. Ash gets chased to the woods, loses his horse, gets it by morning, but loses his horse, and he ends up at a in a windmill. Yeah, apparently PJ doesn't remember much of the movie either. You guys sleeping through this thing?
No,
So
it's just not that memorable.
he he goes in there. Oh, come on, you got to remember this part. He goes into the windmill, and then he
It has all the little
the
mini people.
yes, all the little minis
Yeah, I remember that.
ramming speed, and they stab him in the butt with a fork, and then they knock him out, and one climbs into his body or dives into his body through his
Yeah.
mouth. And then you have the scene where he completely splits, and then you get evil Ash. Which ironically, don't they bring evil Ash back in like the TV show?
I honestly don't remember.
I'll have to go back and look. I thought they did. But so he ends up killing off evil Ash or whatever and burying him. And, Ash is this is about the point where Ash is using like all his one-liners. And evil Ash's head is in the hole in the ground. He's like, rah, 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 rah. He's like, hey, you got something on your face.
Yep.
And throws dirt on him and whatnot. Then he goes out and he finds the books. Now, here's the important thing. There's 3 books.
Yep.
Now, Ash is looking at these books as being one of them's the real thing, 2 of them are kind of a distraction. Kind of like fake books, right?
Yep.
And I don't know if that's what they were going for in this movie, like the 2 books that were just distracting, and the other one was like a real book. But this could also tie into the later movies that we're going to see, starting with The Evil Dead, which we'll be watching on Monday, um, and then Evil Dead Rise, because both of those have two different books. So it is quite possible that this now ties over into those movies. We'll have to wait and see. But one book sucked him in. It had like a portal or something in it. Which this is where the comedy kind of gets really over the top, where he almost turns into like a Looney Tunes character.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got like his face stretches and he shakes it and it changes form and he shakes it again and you know, it's very cartoony. This is the second book bit him. It just bit his finger. Nom 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 nom. And kind of flew down and attacked him. And then he took the last book and he had to say the magic words. Jerry, do you remember what those magic words were? Because he did not know.
I don't remember.
Ah,
Do you?
Klaatu. Yes, Klaatu, Barada, Nikto.
Yeah, you have it looked up probably.
Well, that and also because it is it's a phrase that originated from the movie "The Day the Earth Stood Still."
You probably looked it up. You didn't
No.
remember it and you know it.
Yes, I remembered. I was
No, you didn't. You couldn't recite it if you hadn't looked it up.
here's something for you, Jeremy. In the 1983 film Return of the Jedi, one of Jabba the Hutt's employees is Barada, a member of the Clutunian species. And then there's also another species called Nikto. So, ta-da! It just ties into like a lot of different things. But so that's what he had to say, and he messed it up, and yeah, he ended up raising the dead and also Evil Ash again.
Yep.
And then you have the big fight at the end where everyone's fighting, and what's her face? Sheila ended up getting kidnapped and turned into evil Sheila. Can't remember. Did she die at the end of that movie? I don't remember.
I don't either.
I'm pretty sure she got like flung over. I think.
Again,
Oh no, he saves Sheila. It says.
like
Yeah.
I said again, it's just
Yeah. Well,
I don't know
Nate,
what it does about this movie, but I just don't remember much about it.
did you? Hey, Jerry, you know that actress who played Sheila?
Embeth,
You,
Embeth Davids.
yeah. Have you seen what she's in? I knew I recognized her face from somewhere.
Yeah, she plays Miss Honey and Matilda.
She was also in 13 Ghosts. She played what's her face?
There was a lot of what's her faces.
Yeah, well, oh come on, Jeremy. There was only like 3 of them in that entire movie. She plays the one who kind of backstabs in the end.
Oh,
The,
oh
the
yeah. She also plays Peter Parker's mother in The Amazing Spider-Man. She plays
Does she?
Mary.
Oh, yep.
Mary
Yeah,
Parker.
for a brief scene, yeah. So after the big conflict and everything, after everything is said and done, Ash goes back to the present day where he's bragging about what he's done and he's working at S Mart, and then a deadite attacks
Yep.
and he kills it.
Yep.
And he makes out with a female coworker or customer or whatever she was.
Yep.
And that is the
remember
end of
that.
and that is the end of the movie.
And that's when you
But
start.
did
That's when you
but
start
did
tying into the TV show.
yeah, then it goes to then years later we have the TV show. But did you know that was not the original ending they were going to go with?
No.
Okay. So the original ending, okay, this is the original ending they were talking about doing was, well, actually I think they did it, they shot it, and then I guess they thought it was not the best ending, and so they changed it to this one. But what had happened was after the battle, the wise man says, "Okay, what you need to do is say the words, and you need to drink 6 drops of this potion, and it will take you back to the present day." But as he's saying it and he's taking the sips of the potion, he forgets. Something happens and it distracts him, and he ends up taking a 7th drop, which puts him in like this. What they say was, it was like a a post-apocalyptic London, almost like 28 days later. So he wakes up in this post-apocalyptic London, and he just kind of cries out. He yells out that he slept too long. But I guess Universal had thought that ending was a bit dark. Oh, it was a sad kind of ending. So
It's a
they ended up they ended up reshooting it and giving us the one with the S smart where he's shooting the deadite.
guess who plays the voice of the Deadite Captain?
I just saw this. Um,
Where he's like, "Welcome back to the land of the living. Now pick up a shovel and get digging."
I'm pretty sure that's. I just saw it too. Go ahead and tell me,
It's Bill
because I'm trying to remember.
Mosley.
Guy, yeah, Chop Top from Texas too.
Yep, he plays Chop Top in Texas too. He also plays Otis in the House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, Three from Hell trilogy.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, Ted Raimi, of course, had quite a few different roles in here.
Always
Bridget,
does.
yeah, Bridget Fonda played Linda. We got our third Linda.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure that even in the TV series, I think we get like a different Linda. I think every Linda's been different. Um, so yeah, so not entirely like the worst film ever. I'd go back and watch it. I think I don't know. I just think I was just tired, mundane. I was like right there at the tail end of it. I'm like kind of starting to nod off during the battle. Apparently, um, Bruce Campbell with this one, he had to learn like a lot of. I guess they said it was like a really hard shoot for him because he had to learn all this like choreography for the fight scenes
Yeah.
at the end of the movie. But the problem is that he was fighting invisible targets, so they had to set up some sort of number system for him that he had to learn. And of course, Sam Raimi being the just stand up best friend that he possibly can said, make it as difficult as possible. So there were like days where Bruce Campbell, I guess, was just cursing on set because he had to learn this really complicated number system or something for this choreography fight scene and whatnot. Is really ridiculous. That goes back to what did he say in the first movie? He had sprained his ankle. Bruce sprained his ankle or something like that, and
Yeah.
Sam is like continuously poking it with a stick.
I don't think Sam
Sounds
Raimi's as good of a friend as you think.
I don't know. They were young at that point. Maybe they thought it was funny. I don't. They're still friends, so it's not like I assume they're still good friends because every time Sam Raimi makes a movie, Bruce Campbell's in there somewhere. He did the Spider-Man movies. Bruce Campbell was in like all 3 of those. He did Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and Bruce Campbell was in that one with a cameo.
Huh. That's
So
cool.
yeah, have you not seen that one?
Yeah, I've seen it. But
Oh.
guess who plays one of the mini Ashes?
I would assume Bruce Campbell.
No. Master Chief himself
What?
from Halo.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
from the game.
yeah, from the newer ones. He did the voice in 5 and in where's the other one? 5 and Infinite. He plays the voice of Master Chief.
He played one of the mini ashes.
Yeah, Mini Ash number 2.
Ugh. Oh, okay.
He plays a lot of video games, but yeah, he plays Master Chief.
That
He
is
also plays
very.
Gordon and Son of Batman and Commissioner Gordon Batman Bad Blood and
Oh,
Gordon and Batman Hush.
I got quite a bit of talent there. Okay, so Bruce Campbell actually ended up going to the emergency room.
Why?
Uh, I guess during the filming of a scene in which Campbell flipped a stuntman down a set of stairs. I'm getting this from Wikipedia. Um, the lower part of his face contacted with a piece of armor, which resulted in him bleeding. Campbell was brought to a local emergency room to have the wound mended by a plastic surgeon who, upon seeing the number of artificial cuts and slashes on Campbell's face, asked, "Which one is it?" In order to maintain the continuity of the injuries and dirt on Ash's face, the onset makeup specialist utilized a plastic template that fit over Campbell's face. So I guess he ended up with an actual thing on his face, and then they had to cover that up to keep it in, in continuity. But yeah, stunt work, fun stuff.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. But you never know about all that kind of stuff.
I think if
What?
Ash versus Evil Dead, if it referenced anything in this one.
Um,
Army of Darkness references.
that I don't know.
Ooh, wow. Okay. Dun, 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 dun.
What all did she? What all did it reference?
Well, while Ash versus Evil Dead was legally prevented from directly referencing this entry in the franchise during season one, there was a few sly writing around trademark nods to it. Beginning with season two, the issues were resolved and Army of Darkness could be directly referenced. Oh, they actually referenced this movie in Supernatural.
Oh,
Yeah, the episode is Hammer of the Gods,
all right. I know what episode. Now that you said it.
which episode was this? Did I see this one? Okay.
I
Hmm.
don't remember exactly what happens, but I remember an episode now about it.
Hammer of the Gods. The Winchesters take refuge in a motel that's way too swanky for its surroundings. Turns out that the motel is a trap created by various gods who want to stop the apocalypse by using Sam and Dean as bait.
Yeah,
Apparently, Dean says, "Listen up, you primitive screwheads."
there's your
That is,
reference.
there's the reference right there. That's what Ash says. That's what he calls people. Um, oh,
PJ said
get
she thinks she did nod off during movie night Monday.
why you guys going and falling asleep during our movie?
So one thing I did notice in this one, and I actually liked it, it's you are starting to get the Ash even more that everybody knows. It's like you
I
said,
think
the one-liners are coming back, are in full swing in this one.
um not gonna lie, I'm gonna tell you Ash from Ash versus Evil Dead, older Ash,
Yeah.
by far the best. He's just the best.
Oh yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I think he outweighs the other ones because I think to an extent, I think we already talked about it. Ash from the first movie, Evil Dead, he was just kind of bland. You know,
Yep.
he was the thoughtful character, he was the nice character, but he was just kind of bland, right? Compared to at least the later installments. And Ash, uh, Evil Dead 2, um, you kind of get to see that crazy heroics from him. You know, he starts being because I in the first movie he's just kind of like a big wimp.
Yeah.
You know, things are happening, which is understandable. When you get in a position like that, you might wimp out a little bit. You know, in the second movie, you kind of get to see him pick it up a little bit. He becomes this kind of fighter, and then I think in this movie he develops the personality. I think the problem with this one is that the personality has gone too far. I think by the time you get to like older Ash, he's still kind of quippy. He's still kind of, you know, rough around the edges, you know, with his sarcasm and his mannerisms, but there's a nice fine tune to it now. In this one, he's almost completely different. Well, okay, I'm gonna say he is completely different from the first movie because this one, what is it? Sheila was saying something. They were kind of having this like little fight or whatever, and he says, "What did he say?" He just said, "Shut up and kiss me, baby."
Yep.
Right? I was like, that's kind of out of character for and then he's um yelling at people and getting short tempered with people, and it's like, eh. I mean, he is funny, and a lot of his comments and stuff are good for the time, but I just think like on a meter, he's gone beyond. He's overcooked at this point,
Yeah.
you know. So, like I said, his personality is fine in this one. I just think there's like some portions of it you're just kind of like, wow, Ash, you're actually kind of a jerk in this. I can understand why you land in the Middle Ages, you get captured, and you're being thrown into a pit. Kids are kicking you, walking through the streets. You might be a little distempered, but um,
Yeah.
yeah, I just think his personality had gone a little too far into the. I mean, I'm gonna have to go back and watch Ash versus Evil Dead um, to really get the feel of it, but yeah, it is definitely a little too far for my taste.
But what was your favorite part of the whole movie?
My favorite part of this whole movie, probably towards the ending when they're having like kind of like the big battle. It's not elaborate or anything, but I mean you do get an army of darkness, and having like an evil Ash versus our Ash. Um, Especially when he what he comes back. He's this kind of zombified form, and then what does Ash do? He does. What does he set him on fire or something?
Yeah.
And he sets him on fire and turns him into a skeleton, and then catapults him into the sky with an explosive. Um, oh, there was that really fun scene where he's like, "Archers, light them up!" And they all light their like little dynamite bows or the little arrow heads that have like little dynamite attached to it. And then they're all waiting. He's like, "Wait, wait!" And then you see like the fuses are like burning all the way up. Even the archers are sitting there starting to sweat, like, we're gonna get blown up here. And then they fired and they were everything was blown up. It was good. It was good. So I do like that final fight scene.
I want to know where he got all the ammo for his boomstick.
Kept in his back pocket.
He
That's it,
fi-
just his back pocket.
he
But
fired that boomstick a lot.
PJ, his cartoon face, is that a reference to like your favorite part, or is that just something you were pointing out?
Where he's got like the elongated cartoon face.
Yeah, like when he was pulling himself out of the book,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Ugh," and like everything was completely elongated. Oh yeah, so that's your favorite part, his cartoon face. Yeah, at this point, Ash can just take on anything.
Um, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite part. I think the best
Oh
part.
my god, you ask me what my favorite part is, and you're like, yeah, I don't have one.
I mean, the fight scene at the end was cool. Like I said, I think that was probably the best.
I like how Ash was fighting two guys with two swords, and he wasn't even looking at them half the time. He was just kind of. You look at one, then maybe turn to the other one, but he was still fighting them.
They had to get
Uh,
what's his name to come help him. So,
yeah,
some. Oh God. Um, Duke Henry the Red.
Henry the Red. Yeah, because most of the people, I guess, once he got back and they realized that he had risen the dead, the army of darkness. Um, the castle decided they were done. They were gonna leave.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was gonna die, and he was able to talk a couple like he talked like what 70, 60 people, and then he
Yeah.
was like, no, 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 we're gonna call on Henry the Red. And then it was really funny because I don't know how long, they never explained how long um Arthur and Henry were at war fighting each other, but apparently um they had caught Henry at the beginning of the movie. Are going to throw him in the pit, but once Ash killed the Deadites and whatnot in there, and everyone was like, "Oh my goodness, Ash is awesome!" And he's like, "Let him go, let Henry go." And Henry and his guys ran off, and never to be seen again until the end of the movie. Um, Ash was like, "We're gonna call on them. They're gonna help us," and they did. They came in and helped. And then at the end of the movie, like Arthur and Henry were just hugging it out like they're the bestest of friends, the best friends. Remember when I tried to, capture you and throw you in the pit and have a giant blood fountain? Remember
Yep.
that? That was good times. That's fun. Thanks for the help, though.
It, crazy. It's crazy what friendship will happen in the
They
face
actually
of skeletons and
they
danger.
actually they shot this movie out in California. Where did it say it was? Oh, um, the shooting began in mid 1991 and it lasted for about 100 days. It was a midsummer shoot and while on location on a huge castle set that was built near Acton, California. Um, it's on the edge of the Mojave Desert. It
That
was
makes
really
sense.
It was really hot during the day and very cold at night. Apparently, they were shooting at a time where they had short nights.
Yeah.
They were filming during the summer, so they had the longest day. Or they had the longest days and the shortest nights. And I guess to do night shots, it would take an hour and a half of it'd take an hour and a half to light up the area, which only gave them about 6 hours to shoot scenes during the nighttime. So they were really having to hustle and bustle and whatnot.
Yep. Then we had flying deadites in this one.
Yeah, we had some flying deadites. We had some different variations of deadites. We had flying
Skeleton
deadites.
dites.
What was that?
Skeleton deadites.
What would they just be considered skeletons?
Nah, skeleton deadites.
Skeleton deadites.
I want to know how his car was still able to work after falling all that way.
Yeah, he turned that thing into like um that mm, lawnmower looking thing.
Actually, one of my favorite scenes, though, I will say, is when he drank that scalding pot of water to kill the little mini dude in him.
Once again, he is a. I don't think he can die. I don't think Ash can actually die. As Jeremy was saying, he was downing a tea kettle of boiling hot water, and he was just in his mouth and swallowing it just so he could burn that little thing out of him. There's no way,
Oh god.
no way.
Like I said, overall the movie was good, but it just wasn't that memorable.
Uh,
And
I think it's memorable in the fact that it's entirely different than everything else. Like the first movie is a cabin movie, all the way down to it's cabin in the woods. Second movie is exactly the same thing. It's cabin in the woods movie. No real expansion on that one. This one, I think, in its own right, it just stands out as being an entirely different movie, which might explain a little bit why for you it's not as memorable because it's an entirely different setting. It's almost entirely opposite. The closest thing that we actually get to like an Evil Dead movie, hence why they don't use Evil Dead because I don't think they could have used anything. This movie, I think originally they wanted to call, um, I think for some reason they had to call this movie Army of Darkness because they couldn't use anything that had Evil Dead in it. I think it was a studio thing because I think they were using different studios at the time. Because this movie was Universal.
yeah.
Um,
Well, let's see what everybody else thought. Because it's time.
for the tomato meter.
Well, first it's time for IMDb.
Oh well, yeah, that is true.
With 189,000 votes. On a scale of 1 to 10, let's see what everybody thought.
Okay, so yeah. Oh, let me throw mine in real quick. Oh, darn it, she got a 7. Okay, I'm doing 7.1.
7.1,
Okay.
6.4. You know,
Yeah, yeah, so this movie was distributed by Universal Pictures while Evil Dead 2 was distributed by Rosebud Releasing Corporation, which is why I think originally this movie they wanted to call Medieval Dead. Get it? Medieval Dead, but apparently they couldn't use any sort of Evil Dead because it was licensed to the other people, so they had to use Army of Darkness. Fun fact, yay! I thought it would have been really cool to call it Medieval Dead. All right, go ahead and give it to us, Jeremy. Jeremy, we can't hear you. Did you mute yourself?
I did.
All I'm sitting here watching you, Jeremy's doing like he's like, and I'm like, I don't know what he's saying. I think I won. I don't know.
PJB Doll. Strike one.
Oh boy.
Ravenfire. Strike two.
Oh, that must mean we all got over.
Jason. You putting the man on base because it was a 7.4 out of 10.
Oh, sorry, Raven. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to steal it like that. Oh, that's the that's the equivalent of it's the equivalent of those. What do you think the price of this thing is? I'm gonna go with $6, Bob. And what do you think? I think it's gonna be $6 and a penny. That's when the other person's looking over like, you what?
And the price is $7.
Oh wait, no, that's Wheel of Fortune.
Well, now it's time we head to the tomato meter.
I remember that Wheel of Fortune game.
Oh yeah, the little
Grandparents had
hand
it?
one.
You know, the little hand,
Yeah,
the one that had like the whole keyboard on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun game. Grandparents had that one.
They did. So, on a scale of 0 to 100, the critics.
Getting it in there first. Getting it in there first.
And tell me if y'all can hear this. Are y'all ready?
No, I can't hear anything.
PJ, Raven, can y'all hear it?
Probably not.
Yeah, they can.
What? Wait, okay, hold on. I'm gonna hush up real quick. I'm gonna listen to the actual podcast here. Let me turn
Well, I've already stopped it, but I'll let you know before I do it on the next one.
Oh.
So.
Oh, I caught the tail end of it.
So, Jason with the 76%. Strike one.
Oh boy.
PJB doll. You got the triple! Because it was 68%. You were so close to that home run. You're about to smack it out of the park like I do on MLB The Show to Jason at inning number 9.
I don't be bringing that up. What's wrong with you?
Ravenfire, unfortunately, PJ just beat you by a few points. You know, why not?
Raven, you got the next one. You got the next one, girl. You got it.
Yeah, just do it. It's the audience. Are y'all ready? Here we go. Don't forget to listen, Jason.
I gotta go back. Turn on my. Okay, here we go. Good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Oh, I love that. That might be my new thing. Either that or I'm going to do the Wheel of Fortune one.
Jeopardy's always better.
Oh, God. Oh, that's just randomly spawn the Daily Double randomly in the podcast.
Burn. Daily Double.
Oh my god! I'm just gonna start randomly doing that. I'm just gonna start spawning a random
What
daily
is
double.
did Ash say this in the movie?
Okay, so we have to answer in the form of a question.
It better be good, audience, because this is my favorite one. Yeah, actually, yeah, I do believe Raven is this is her favorite out of the bunch. She has more of a past with, I think, her mom used to watch this all the time, so it's kind of the one that she
It
is
did come out in
raised on.
'92.
Did it come out in 92?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean this one was probably much more widely accessible considering that it is still an R-rated film, but this is barely R-rated, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, and
This is almost borderline like high PG-13.
yeah, they tried their hardest to get it a PG-13 rating, but they just never could.
Yeah. I mean, I could tell. I mean, I think, yeah, I think at one point, I think with just kind of how it is, I think it's just very, very, very high PG-13. So, all right, go ahead, Jimmy.
PJB Daw. Strike one. A terrible fox. Jason. Strike two.
Did she
And
get it?
Raven Fire.
Did she get it?
Send them bad boys to home base, cause you got it. It was an 87% out of 100.
We
So
all
each of
got
y'all
one.
got one this time around. Look at y'all.
Yay! Feel the love. That is actually pretty good. We all managed to get one.
I know, and I found something new to do.
Yes, you did, Jimmy. What you do.
Oh god. But like I said, it. I'm gonna go back and rewatch it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I've been purchasing. Well, I mean, we've been watching these on Vudu. I've been pretty much buying movies as we've been doing this. Like I got all of Phantasm. I'm gonna have all of Evil Dead by the end of this. Um, Now certain movies that I don't really care for, like Slacks, and you watch that on you um watch that on Shutter. What?
How could you not care for Slack?
No, I mean I like the movie, but I'm just saying I'm not buying it.
How?
Like it's on Shutter. I mean, some movies are easily more accessible, like you know the stuff on Shutter.
Yeah.
But I mean, like stuff like okay, yes, I get it. Slacks is good. I get it. I'm not saying that it's a bad movie. I'm just saying it's easily accessible. How many times when we've looked up trying to find a place to stream um, any of the Evil Dead movies, we can't find anything on there. At least for the older ones, it's usually like rent or buy. So I simply just buy them on Vudu. May your pants take mercy on you. Too bad I don't wear pants. I wear shorts. So it's only half pants. But so movies I'm interested in that are harder to find on a streaming service such as Evil Dead or Phantasm that I can't just go on there and go click watch. I've been purchasing them on Vudu. So I have this like collection. I've got like all the Scream movies so far. I think I got all the um, Nightmare. No, Who cares? But yeah, now I'm just rambling about my voodoo.
Voodoo,
Voodoo,
voodoo.
voodoo, voodoo. Which reminds me, when I get paid this weekend, I might as well pick up the next two.
Ah,
The Evil
yes.
Dead, which is what we'll be watching Monday, and Evil Dead Rise. Now, Jeremy, you've seen The Evil Dead.
Yes.
I haven't seen that
I
one,
love that movie. It's really good.
and
And I'm
I
telling
haven't
you,
seen Evil Dead Rise, which I think.
if you get queasy from blood, do not watch this movie.
Jeremy, Jeremy, we just watched a lot of blood just come out of a pit.
Yeah, but that's just a spew up. Like this one, shorts are just slacks, children.
They're just baby slacks.
They're half a
They just
slack.
they mini slacks. Oh, that is so funny. Stop diverting. I'm talking about Ash, not pants.
He could fight the pants. The Deadites could possess the pants.
I don't think. I think they only possess like. Well, I mean, they can possess dead things, but I don't.
I'm gonna
No,
swallow
never
your
mind.
pants.
Never mind. They possess that deer head
Yeah, and the lamp.
and the lamp. Yeah. Maybe it was just Ash the entire time.
So they could dance it out.
I guess they could. I guess they could. That's what Slacks is.
They're
It's in
Deadites.
the Evil Dead universe. It's just Deadite. What's her name? She fell into the cotton gin thing. It killed her, and a Deadite possessed the pants as her. That's what it is.
But yes, no, the next one I really do like. It takes a really dark and twisted turn to the original.
Yeah. So that blood is done different. So this would be bad for the sensitive. Ooh boy, this could be a fun movie to try to get through. Might see me in the corner on the chat going, hold on, I got and pass out.
I was about to say, if our sister was on, she'd be like this. Yeah, that's what.
No, she wouldn't get through the first movie. She wouldn't have been able to get through this movie. Not saying anything bad, just saying as soon as she saw the fountain of blood, she'd been out, done. It's over. So, yeah. So, uh, yeah. So this will be my first time with The Evil Dead, and I'm pretty sure when we get to Evil Dead Rise, it'll be everyone's first time. So we're gonna have some fun with that one. I mean, unless Jeremy's already watched it.
Nope, not yet.
Sweet. All right. So that being said, I guess it is time to get to our trailer, right?
Oh, yeah. So we will see y'all next week for The Evil Dead.
The Evil Dead.
You all stay safe. We will see y'all next week.
Next week. Later, people.
Please. Please. You have to get me out of here.
released something from that book. Something evil. This thing is attached to Mia's soul. We're gonna have to kill her.
You are all going to die tonight.